Woody Wommack and Adam Gorney here in lovely Los Angeles, getting ready to wrap up National Signing Day 2020, but not before we're joined by a special guest, Herm Edwards, the coach of Arizona State. Coach, boy, it's been a fruitful past month and a half for you. How nice is it to sit back and kind of enjoy knowing that you got all those letters in and you put the bow on the 2020 class?
Well, I think there's some kind of closure with the 2020 class, as you just mentioned. A lot of behind-the-scenes hard work from a lot of people that don't get, obviously, to speak in front of the mic. It's really a team effort. I mean, totally a team effort from the young guys in the back rooms that are watching tape and breaking tape down, and the orchestration of where coaches need to go and some of the hotbeds and what type of players we're looking for. So it's kind of fun. Never stops, as you guys know. It continues to go. Today is you got these guys signed. Now we're already thinking about the next class of guys we're going after.
Herm, you did so well in California. How much of an emphasis is that state going forward? Is it impossible not to make it one?
Well, I think, and it was stated today in the press conference, home plate is Arizona. We are a team that Arizona State, and we want to recruit this state very hard. And then first base is California, when you think about our blueprint. And then from there, a little bit of Nevada. We venture into Texas some. And then the national picture, certain positions nationally, we know we're going to have to leave that footprint. When you're thinking about quarterbacks, offensive or defensive linemen, our footprint kind of goes, where those players are. So, that's a big part of it. But as you mentioned, California is first base.
You guys had one of the best receivers in the Pac-12 and maybe in the country. He's leaving, but you got more talent on the way. Two of the guys that we really got to see a lot, LV Bunkley Shelton, who's one of the best personalities in the class, and then Johnny Wilson. Tell us about those guys, because they're really two different types of weapons, and it should give you some options right away.
Well, they are, and Johnny's a big, powerful guy, can go up over guys and really make big-time catches when he's tightly covered. He's physical, can run down the middle of the field, can threaten your seam. You talk about a guy that has a lot of qualities, and then obviously you're talking about Bunkley now. He's a unique player in the fact that he's one of those guys that just makes plays. When you turn the tape on, he made another play. He just seems to find ways to make plays with ball in his hand. And, Badger's pretty good, too. He's not all bad, right? When you think about another young receiver that we were able to get, along with Chad Johnson Jr., who's been with us from the beginning. But there's a bunch of young receivers that we're bringing in to add to the receivers we already have. We're a pretty young football team when you think about only 9 seniors on our team.
You mentioned going up to Folsom for Elijah Badger. Also got Daniel Nagata out of there. Are comparisons to Eno Benjamin unfair? Can you use him in similar ways?
You make a great point, and he has a lot of traits of Eno. Well, when you turn the film on, if you didn't know what number he was wearing or what school he was playing for, his ability to make people miss in space is similar to Eno's, and then, when you look at him, you just say, man, this guy runs a lot like Eno, and that's kind of interesting.
Tell us how much easier did it make your job when you're out there recruiting those skill position players to have a guy like Jaden to point to in your young quarterback? One of the, and for my money, one of the most exciting young players at any position. I was really impressed getting it when I got to watch you guys play this year. How did that help, and was he a great selling point for these other guys?
Absolutely, and I think any player that's had success, and if they have early success like a lot of these young guys want to have when they go to college, you're talking about a freshman quarterback that plays and really had a pretty nice season. But he's a big recruiter, and he understands this. Look, we're only going to be as good as the players we have, and I can surround myself with some players, whether on offense or defense, that's going to help our program. So he's done a really magnificent job of being a part of the process of recruiting guys, and a lot of these guys played against him, so they've seen him play. The guys in Southern California have played against Jaden. They've known Jaden since he was in junior high school, so that's a unique situation when you have a quarterback like that has early success.
Now, before you got back into the head coaching chair, you were hanging out with us at All-Star games and coaching the Under Armour game. We take a lot of guff for the weight we put on evaluations we make at those games, but kind of give us your take. Having been on both sides now, what kind of tool is that to get to see players compete in that setting, and how much did that kind of stoke your fire too to maybe get back into coaching full time?
Well, I mean, the thing I coached that thing for about eight years, and I can remember visiting with Steve Mariucci after the second or third practice, and he coached one team, I coached the other, but we would always be mismatched. I'd go over and mess with his guys, he'd come mess with my guys, and we would literally sit there and say, okay, how many you have that are potential NFL guys? I'm not talking about college. We're talking about NFL guys. And he'd say, I got 2 or 3, and I'd mention mine. I mean, the first class that I coached was Jameis Winston and Amari Cooper. They're pretty good. Okay? And so I just think that's the type of talent that was collected, with that game, the collection of players on both sides of the ball. So I think what really got me going a little bit more was the ability to relate to those guys. And a lot of them, I can remember when the game was over that week, toward the ending of the week before we played the game, players on both sides would tell me all the time, Coach, you need to go back and coach. You need to come coach college football. And it was nice of them to say that. But then an opportunity like this presented itself, and all arrows were green for me with the situation of the AD and the president and what they're trying to build here. And I decided to come back.
Now you shift your focus to 2021, and I know you've already been talking to guys. A lot of the coaches we talked to today have told us that the January has been kind of invaluable to them to get a head start, and the calendar's really moved up. Have you noticed that as well, and how much of a jump start have you guys already have on 2021?
Yeah, well, we're way ahead now. We were behind when we took over, because we were hired in December, and I didn't even have my whole staff. So we were behind that first year, and we need a lot of catching up to do, because you guys know this, and you guys deal with these kids as much as the assistant coaches do. It's all about relationships, and it's about developing relationships, and that's a 2, sometimes 3-year relationship according to when you start on these guys of having that conversation. So I think we feel pretty good about we've made some inroads with those young men and their coaching staffs, obviously, and all the people that are involved with these guys. And I think now it's just a matter of continue to build relationships and trust.
All right, Coach. Well, we really appreciate you taking time out to join us, and best of luck as you get out there. And hopefully we'll see you. We cross paths on the trail.
Okay, you guys travel safe. I appreciate you.